Hi everyone, this is Stephanie. Welcome to another class with me here at Linguistiko. This is the Small Talk Like a Pro class. So we are going to learn what small talk is, how to do it, how not to do it, some really good tips, and yeah, that's what this class is about. So anyhow, I'm just going to keep rambling while I'm waiting for students to join the class. Sorry, I'm reading something. Well, yeah, that's it. So, small talk. What does that mean? Who small talks? When do we use small talk? All the time. I'm looking for something. Couldn't find it. So basically, everything we're going to do today is based off of an incredible article called The 10 Big Rules of Small Talk. Now, if you are thinking, oh, how hard can it be? We're going to talk about making like professional small talk today. So not just like, my hair is being rebellious, excuse me. Not just talking about like how to talk to people you don't know, but how to be very cultured, how to do it in a way that is professional and shows you're educated in the art of small talk. Some people don't know how to make small talk, and some people naturally know how to make small talk because they just talk a lot. So I'm one of those people that like nobody ever had to teach me how to do small talk. I would do big talk all the time. No. But even though I can naturally talk to people well and have always been like that, I learned a lot of good things from this article. Hello? Hi, I see that I have a student joining me. Who is this? George, is that you?
Hello,
Hi, how are you?
I am fine. You,
I'm
Miss
good. Thank
Stephanie?
you. Thank you for joining my class. We have 4 students signed up for this class, but we're going to start right away. I don't
Okay.
know when they're coming. Sometimes they don't come till late, so we'll start. Have you taken this class with me, Small Talk Like a Pro?
I don't remember.
Okay, that's okay. It's better if you don't remember. That way you won't feel like you're repeating classes with me.
Okay.
Okay, so when I say small talk like a pro, what does the pro part mean?
Oh, professional?
Yeah, good job. Okay. So small talk like a professional. And do you know what small talk is?
Small talking.
No, not small talking. Small talk.
Small talk.
Yeah.
Mm, I don't
Okay. Well, small talk is a type of conversation that we use when we talk to people that we don't know very well. So, for example, people that you work with, if you don't know them very well, but then you work together, so it's kind of like you have to be pleasant with each other in the work environment, or maybe let's say with your boss at work, and the boss and the employees, they're always on different levels. It's like you talk to them, but you can't really ever get too close, and you can't get too personal because they're your boss and they have to be on that other level. Does that make sense?
Okay, yes.
Okay, I guess. So, anyhow, when you meet a stranger, and are you likely to talk to strangers, or do you have a hard time talking to strangers?
Sometimes
Are you shy, or you just don't really like talking to strangers?
I like to talk with strangers. Yeah,
You do.
don't worry for
Okay.
me.
Okay. Well, I have this really, really good article about small talk. So, what I'm going to do in this class is I'm going to read the article because this isn't a reading class, but you can listen to what I'm saying and then we're going to talk about it. And rather than me just trying to tell you everything, we're going to let the article guide our conversation.
Okay.
Okay, so this article is called The 10 Big Rules of Small Talk, and it starts like this. Anyone who's been caught at a wedding reception or a cocktail party discussing recent precipitation knows that making small talk isn't as easy as it sounds. On the contrary, conversing with strangers can be awkward, stilted, even painful. But there is an art to it and it can be mastered. A golden rule is that you don't have to be brilliant, just nice. If you start with simple, even obvious comments, that makes it easier for others. Here are 10 rules gleaned from communication specialists and women whose jobs require extensive networking and party-going for navigating sticky small talk situations with style and grace. So, what do you think about that introduction? Were you able to understand all of it?
Mm,
Or
I
most of it?
most of it.
Most of it? Okay. Maybe for the next part, what I will do is I will share my screen and I will read it, but I'll share my screen so you can read along with me. Do you think that would help?
Yes.
Okay, okay, I'll do that. Um, but basically, so we're just talking about making small talk in situations where you are at events. For example, a wedding reception, or if your company has a party and they invite everybody, how do you talk to your boss and your boss's friends, things like that. So I'm going to go ahead and share now. Here we go. So the first rule or the first tip is to do a little homework. It says, if your conversational skills are more reminiscent of Oscar the Grouch than Oscar Wilde, a bit of preparation is in order. As I drive to a party, I try to come up with 2 or 3 things to talk about in case the conversation runs dry, says Deborah Fine, lecturer and author of The Fine Art of Small Talk. If I've met the host before, I try to remember things about her, like her passion for skiing or a charity we're both involved in. Anne Marie Fowler, a San Francisco investment advisor and president of the fundraising group of San Francisco Ballet Encore, attends business and social functions as often as 7 nights a week. She says, I think about the key guests and what I can say to bring them into their element. For instance, when Fowler attended the party of a recently retired CFO, she remembered that he loves modern art and asked him about his collection. To keep your conversation timely and lively, Carducci suggests scanning newspaper headlines and movie and book reviews. And I listen to a lot of NPR, he says. Okay, so I think that some of this you probably understood, and maybe some of it is kind of hard to understand. I understand that. Um, but first, tell me, have you ever been to an event that required you to mingle? Mingle means like mix and talk to people that you don't know very well?
I don't know what is mingo.
Mingle. Mingle is when you mix with a group of people. Like there's a big party, a big group of people, or a big event, and you are sort of in that group. Maybe you don't really know anybody, but you have to be there and be cool and talk to people. Have you ever had to do that?
No, no.
Oh, okay. So, where do you think people have, hang on, that question is a little bit vague. Um, where do you find people that you don't know most of the times? You personally.
Repeat, please. Where?
Um, in what places do you find people that you don't know?
I don't fight people. I don't fight people. I,
So you are always with people that you know.
um, in internet, I find people in websites about languages. Um,
Oh, okay. And how do you start talking to these people? Like what? Because that's strange. It's like you're talking to people that maybe live on the other side of the world. How do you start talking to these people? What do you say?
um, First, we greeting, we greet,
Uh-huh. We say hi.
yeah, we say hi, and then I ask, how are you, for example, and they they answer me, and I very fine, something like that, and we we talk to we talk about um and what do we like and something like
Okay,
that.
okay, hang on. I'm gonna make this easier for you. You're gonna pretend that you're meeting me for the first time, okay? So try and talk to me and show me the kinds of questions that you would ask these other people by asking me, okay?
Okay.
Okay, here we
Hi,
go. Hi,
how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I am very well. And what is your name?
My name is Stephanie. What about you?
My name is George, and nice to
Nice,
meet you,
nice to meet you,
Stephanie.
George.
And what do you like to do?
I like to cook and um, travel, and
Great,
I like my jobs.
it's very cool.
What about you? What do you like to do?
I like to play in piano. And 18. Mm, Going out with my friends and knowing and meeting people and that they learning languages.
Oh, cool.
Yes. And what do you like to cook?
Usually I like to cook salty foods. Like, I don't really like baking cakes and cookies as much, just because if I bake cookies, I'm gonna eat all of them. So I try not to do that. I like making recipes that have vegetables.
Where have you traveled?
Um, I'm from the United States, but I've traveled to Mexico and to Argentina.
Okay, cool. And what is the other thing? And what else did you tell me about what you like to do?
Okay, I like to teach. I like to
Oh yeah,
teach. Yeah, I
and
like to teach kids and I like to teach adults and I just like teaching in general. I think it's fun.
and how many students do you have?
I don't know how many students I have because with Linguistico, for example, It's just whoever comes into the class. So sometimes I have a student and then I never see them again. So I don't know. I have two girls that I work with on Skype, and I work with them on Spanish, and they live in the United States. But when I had my own business in the United States, I had like 20 students at one time, and then sometimes they would finish, but then I would get more students, but then I always had about 20.
Okay. Do you like to learn or how to play guitar?
Yeah, I really want to learn how to play guitar, but I don't know how. I used to play the violin and the
Oh, really?
piano. Yeah,
Cool, cool.
yeah,
And
but I
do,
want to learn the guitar.
do you sing?
I did. I used to sing in a jazz
Cool.
choir. Do you know what a jazz choir is?
Jazz choir is?
Jazz, like jazz music.
Oh, yes, yes, I
Yeah,
understand.
I used to
And
sing in a regular choir and then in a jazz choir.
um, um, what kind of music do you sing or do you like to listen to?
Okay. Hi, Benjamin.
Hi.
We're gonna join you in on the conversation in just a second, okay?
Okay.
Okay, George, I like to listen to all kinds of music. Like I like to listen to music that has more like Latin sounds to it, and I like to listen to dance music and classical music. I basically like everything except for heavy metal. I hate heavy metal. It sounds like somebody's like banging pots and pans. To me, it's awful. And I don't like rap, like heavy rap. I listen to the words of the music, and if it's saying something really gross or inappropriate, then I probably
Oh,
won't like it.
okay. And do
So
you
go ahead, one more question.
do you dance?
Yes, I do like to dance. I've taken ballet. Do you know what ballet is?
Ballet? Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I did ballet for a little bit, but that was a long time ago. And I did some
Oh,
other kind of dancing, and I like to do it, but I'm not like trained, I guess you could say. Like, I don't know how to do it very well. I just feel the music and I go with it.
okay.
Cool. So
Cool.
you have some great questions. I can tell that you have a lot of practice with this.
Okay.
Okay, so Benjamin, we're talking about small talk. Have you done this class with me already?
Not sure.
Okay. Well, anyhow, we are reading an article. We already read the first part, but my question for you right now is, what famous person would you like to meet? If you could meet any famous person, who do you want to meet?
Mm, Live or death?
Oh, no, somebody who's alive.
Okay. Mm,
It could be a famous singer or a president, anybody.
um, the president of Russia?
Wow, that's a very interesting option. Okay, so if I told you, Benjamin, tomorrow you are going to meet the president of Russia, would you just say, oh, that's cool? Or would you say, oh my goodness, like I should prepare some questions because you're going to have 1 hour to spend with him. I'm going to pretend. So if you could spend 1 hour with him, what kinds of questions would you prepare to ask him?
Mm, a lot of the KGB, but I don't think he will tell me.
Okay, what's a question that you think he will tell you?
Mm, Maybe some techno tech tech stuff about their satellite project.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Good.
they have a different satellite system similar to GPS.
Oh, cool. Wow. I don't know anything about this.
Yeah.
Okay, so now make a question. Now pretend I'm the president, okay? We fast forward, it's the next day, and I'm the president, and you have to ask me the question, okay? So how would you ask me?
Mr. President, will you
Hello,
be able to
Benjamin.
will you be able to tell me how is the setup for your satellite system?
Good. Okay, so I say, yes, it's a very wonderful satellite system. It's got a lot of technology, and it's wonderful. We think it's the technology of the future. Thank you for asking. Okay, so so now what's your next question?
Um, would you plan to update your system?
Oh, absolutely. We plan on updating our system every month because technology is just going so fast. You know, we need to keep up with the rest of the world. So, yes, we plan on doing many updates.
Great.
Okay. Okay, so basically, what me and George read before you got here was when you're going to go to an event and there's somebody there that is important or whoever it is, whether it's thank you, George. Whoever you're going to meet, it's important when you want to make small talk in a professional way. It's important to prepare questions because if not, what happens is you just go over there and it's like, "Hi, how are you?" "I'm good, thanks." "Hi, how are you?" "I'm good, thanks." And it's like, it's kind of awkward, right? So to avoid that awkwardness, it's helpful to prepare questions to think, okay, what does this person do? Oh, yes, they love basketball. And since I don't know anything about basketball, I'm going to like look up some information like, okay, who won the last world championships or something so I can have something to talk about that they know about, because I can't just start telling them all about something they don't know about. It's kind of weird. So that's important, especially when you want to make a good impression on somebody. Let's say your boss says, "Okay, we are going to have a holiday party for Christmas. You are all invited, and all of the what is it called? The I can't think of the word. Like the high up people in the company, like her boss, your boss, all the bosses, everybody's gonna be there." And you're like, "Oh yeah, I've been wanting that promotion. I need to talk to whoever's in charge of your promotion." So you say, okay, I need to talk to them. What can I say? And you want to make a good impression. So then you prepare. You find out what is that person like, and you like get to know them so you can get your promotion later or something like that. So anyhow, we're talking about that kind of small talk, not really like talking to just your friend's friend, and because that's, I guess, simple stuff. Am I talking too fast?
No.
Okay, we're good? Okay, we're going to
Yeah.
move on now. I'm sharing my screen, but I'm reading because it's not a reading class, and so I'm reading really fast, and then I'm asking you guys questions. Okay, here we go. Okay, greet people appropriately. To kiss or not to kiss? The question is so universal and for some vexing. Vexing means annoying. That Hamlet might have asked it. Generally, a firm handshake is a safe, neutral bet. In social situations where faces are more familiar, the rules soften. If someone's a good friend, I kiss. And if someone makes that overture to me, I'll respond accordingly, says Barbara Roberts, a board member of the St. Louis Art Museum, who chaired a recent fundraising gala. Cindy Crawley, an active fundraiser and volunteer in Omaha, Nebraska, asks, if you've Adds. If you've kissed someone before, remember to do it again or they may feel shunned. And if you're greeting a husband and wife, peck both or it will look like you're picking a favorite. Okay, so it says greet people appropriately. So, Benjamin, in your country, how do they greet people? How do people greet each other?
Handshake.
With a handshake. Okay, so what about friends? Do friends greet each other with a handshake as well?
Yeah, and a fist bump.
Oh, okay. Like that?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, cool. Here in Argentina, we kiss. We go, and it's like a side kiss. Does anybody do that in your country, Benjamin?
Mm, Mostly women's.
Okay, women.
Women.
Okay. Um, George, what about you? How do people greet each other?
Mm, well, sometimes, sometimes they are greeting.
But how? Do they give each other a handshake or a fist pump?
Yeah,
Or
handshake.
okay, does anybody say hi with a kiss or no?
Sometimes the
Sometimes.
close friends only.
Okay, only close friends. Okay, by the way, I just want to say this. Here in Argentina, everybody kisses everybody. So, I was like so shocked when I got here. I was like, what? And like, for example, one day I had to go to a bank and I was like the first person there in the morning. So this lady walks in that works at the bank and she says hi to everybody that works there and she goes, "Hola, ¿cómo están? Un beso." Un beso. And she kisses everybody that works there, and I'm like, I'm in a bank. Like, what's going on? But like over here, the culture is different. So anyhow, yeah. So basically, when you're in one of those situations, greet everybody appropriately. That way, there's no awkwardness. By the way, in the United States, the greeting thing it can get awkward because there's a lot of cultures there, and some people kiss, and some people hug, and some people shake hands. Some people do the fist pump. So sometimes when you go to say hi, it's like one person goes in for the handshake and the other person goes in for the kiss and the hug, and then it turns into this weird thing and you're just like, what do we do? And it's weird and it feels weird. So anyhow, hopefully in your countries it's more clear the way people greet each other. Okay, so moving on. Number 3, remember names. Introductions tend to pass in a blur, with both parties quickly blurting out names and then taking sips of wine. As a result, no one remembers who anyone is. The solution: slow down and stay present. I always repeat a name once or twice after I've heard it, says Kathy Filippini, a governing member of the Chicago Symphony and a sustaining fellow at the Art Institute of Chicago. If someone has an unusual name, take time to learn it, advises Fine. Don't just move on. She says, say, I'm sorry, let me try that. Did I get it right? Similarly, if someone mumbles, says Fowler, say, would you kindly repeat your name? And when you speak your own name, do so clearly. If you forget a name, discreetly ask a third party for help or listen for it in conversation. If all else fails, come clean. Don't panic and don't feel awful, says etiquette guru Peggy Post. Just say, I can't believe it, I've just drawn a blank. It's such a normal, widespread human happening that most people will understand. Okay, so, George, do you feel like this information is obvious or do you feel that it's helpful?
Helpful. Yes, it's very helpful.
Good. Okay. And do you forget people's names? Like if they say, "Hi, I'm Jessica." Like, do you
Yes,
forget that?
sometimes. I
Uh,
forget.
and what do you do when you forget the person's name?
I ask again.
Like right away or when?
I try to remember.
Okay. Have you ever asked somebody else, like, hey, what was that girl's name? I forgot. Have you ever done
Yes,
that? Yeah.
yes.
That's what they meant when they said discreetly ask a third party. Yeah, it's like ask somebody else first.
Yeah.
Okay. Benjamin, what about you? Do you feel like this is good advice or very obvious?
It's good advice.
Good. Okay. Do you forget people's names when they are introduced to you?
Sometimes.
And how do you handle that?
Mm, yeah, I ask again.
Okay. Do you ever ask somebody else first? Like, hey, what was his name? What was her name?
mm, at the end,
At the end. Good. Okay. Have you ever been embarrassed because of forgetting somebody's name?
yeah,
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
very embarrassing.
It's very embarrassing. Well, I'm probably like the worst out of both of you guys because I forget names. Like you can tell me five times, and I have to spend like the whole day with you before I remember your name because I forget so easily. It's really embarrassing. Really embarrassing because I ask people and I ask them and I ask them and I ask them and then like 3 months later I say, "Oh, what was your name?" And like they already know me and I'm like, "I'm sorry, I don't remember your name." So, my memory is not that good, unfortunately. Seriously. Okay, so George, what was some of the advice that they gave for us to remember people's names?
Hmm. I try to repeat the name my
Good. Try to repeat it. And Benjamin, was there anything else that they said, like advice on how
Mm,
to remember somebody's name?
mm, no.
No. Basically, it's just repeating it and asking them to say it clearly if they haven't already. Good. Okay, so we're going to go again, but this time I'm actually going to let you guys read. Benjamin, we're going to start with you, okay? You're going to read number 4. But hang on, because I'm not there yet. Okay, hang on. Here we go. Right there.
Mm, don't hold back. Begin the conversation by giving the other person something to work with, but don't put her to work. For example, if asked what you do for a living, don't give the short answer, thereby forcing the other person to scramble for more questions. Embellish your response, says Carducci. Say, I'm an accountant, but I don't.
Are you guys there? Hey, are you
We
guys
took.
there? I'm sorry, I like stopped hearing everybody for a second. Okay, never mind. um, Go ahead, keep going.
Um, we took the kids to Italy this year. Suggest fine. Now they know that you have kids and have been to Italy.
Good, okay. So, does anybody know what this means? I'm an accountant, but I don't cook the books. I have no idea what this means. Does anybody know?
Maybe some crooked accountant. Hide
Could
the book.
be. I think I need to look that up later because I've done this class a few times already and I keep forgetting about this part. And then when it comes up, I'm like, oh, sorry, guys, I don't know what that means. I've never heard that in my life. But, okay, so very good. Okay, so thank you for reading. What did Benjamin just read? Can you summarize this for us? Hello?
Hello?
Hang on a second. George, are you there?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, did you hear me?
Yes, now I hear you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we're having some technical difficulties. Sorry, guys. Okay, so did you hear what Benjamin read?
Mm, not at all.
Not at all?
No.
Oh, okay. Over here on the side it says Mr. Yorsh muted Benjamin.
Yes,
Benjamin.
sorry. It's no. It's no.
Oh, so you weren't able to hear him because you accidentally muted him? Is that what happened? Oh, I don't
I
know.
didn't see the reading. I see the reading, and when I
Oh,
try to put on my screen the reading,
uh-huh.
I silent to
Oh,
Benjamin. Sorry.
no, that's okay. I think we're just having a little bit of trouble with this because it's new and we're still getting the classes figured out. So, sorry guys, just be patient. We'll get it figured out. Yeah, I don't know. But anyhow, we'll figure it out today. But basically, he read "Don't hold back." So basically, when somebody asks you a question, don't just give a simple answer, but give something else. That way, there's something more to talk about. For example, if what was that question? If someone asks what you've been up to, instead of saying, "Oh, not much," or "Yeah, just work," instead of saying something like that, you can say, "We took the kids to Italy this year." And this can be a complete stranger, but when you say this, they don't even have to ask, "So, do you have kids? Are you married?" You just volunteer the information. In subtle ways, and it comes across very nicely. That way they know you have kids, they know you went to Italy, so obviously you also have a good job, whatever you do. And it's a way to be subtle about who you are, the things that you do. Um, so I want to practice this. So I'm going to ask a basic question, and I want you guys to respond, but give me a little piece of information that's going to make me curious and make me want to ask you more questions, okay? So, George, how was your day?
My day was cool. Yeah.
Okay, so you have to try and say, "Oh, my day was good," and then say something about your day that's going to keep the conversation going, because if not, you
Ah,
cut the conversation. Okay, so
uh,
let's try again. George, how was your day?
it was very cool. In your day?
Okay, almost, almost. That's good to keep the conversation going, but I don't know anything about what your day was like. I
Oh,
just know that it
okay.
was good. So say like, "Oh, it was good, we got a really great surprise at work." And then I'll say, "Oh, what was the surprise?" But you have to like keep my attention, okay?
Okay.
So, one more time. George, how was your day?
It was cool because I went to the cinema and I kissed my girlfriend.
Okay, good. So that's great because now I want to know what movie you saw. So that's good because you didn't cut the conversation by sharing that other piece of information, you kept it going.
Okay.
Okay, so Benjamin, what are your plans for this weekend?
Mm, I'm planning on going to this concert with some friends and try this my friend's new car.
Good. Very cool. Okay, good. You gave me enough information for me to then ask more questions. I'll say, "What concert?" And it's good that you didn't say, "I'm going to this concert at this time," and this because then you would give me all the information and I would like have nothing to ask. So that was good. Okay, now you guys have to practice with me. Okay, so George, ask me just a basic question and I'm going to try and respond giving a little bit of extra information. And then
Okay.
after I give that information, you have to ask me another question, okay?
Okay. Um, have you been today?
Ooh, that's actually hard. How have I been today? Um, okay, today I was a little lonely because I spent most of the day at home by myself.
Oh, really? Why?
Because my husband, he went to work, so he wasn't here. So the people that I've spent most of my time with have been my students. So it's so nice to have you guys. Okay, good
And
job. Good job. Okay, Benjamin, it's your turn.
Um, when did you learn Spanish?
I started learning Spanish when I was 15 years old in a native speakers class, like for native Spanish speakers, a class that I like wasn't supposed to be in.
Great.
Wait, you're supposed to ask one more question
Um,
afterwards, like to keep it going.
so, how did you get in that class if you're not native?
Good, great question. Okay, well, we don't have to keep going, but I'll tell you anyways, just so you know. I was in the regular Spanish class that and where they just teach like the numbers and the letters and basic stuff. And then we had to do a presentation on a country, and I did my presentation on Argentina. I was like, "Oh, my family's from Argentina," and then the teacher was like, "Wait," she's like, "If your family is from Argentina, then you need to go into the native speakers class." And I said, I don't speak Spanish. And she said, don't worry. She's like, you've heard it all your life. You'll learn it. So I was like, okay. And so then she tells me to go talk to the teacher of the other class, and he talks to me in all Spanish. And I just smiled and I was like, see, see. I don't even know what he said. I don't know. But he allowed me to be in that class, and basically they were going to let me be in it for 2 weeks to see if I liked it. And I love challenges. I love when things are hard because that's when I do my best. So basically, I worked really hard. I studied for a lot of, yeah, like you guys. I studied for many, many hours every single day. And in 3 months, I was able to like understand everything, but I still couldn't speak Spanish and I still couldn't write it. But I worked really hard, and then I kept studying in college, and then I came to Argentina. And when I
how
came
many
here,
how many years? How many years? Repeat,
um,
please.
s- since I was 15, so almost 10 years, almost 10 years. But
Okay.
basically, yeah. So then I would study a lot, and then when I came to Argentina, I spoke more of like a neutral Spanish, like a Central American Spanish, and like it was so hard for me to understand the way that people here talk, and now I talk just like them. So, yeah.
Do you speak Spanish perfectly?
No, I mean, I mess up once in a while. Like today I said la mate instead of el mate, but that's because I was speaking really fast. But then I caught my mistake and I said, oh, wait, wait. But yeah, sometimes I mess up, but no, I speak very well.
Okay.
Good. Okay, well, Benjamin, were you the one who read? Yes, you read. Okay, George, you're going to read now, okay?
Read what?
I'm going to share my screen again.
Okay, okay.
Okay, so it says draw the other person out. Hang on, let's make this smaller. Okay, go ahead. That's your paragraph.
Draw the other person out. People love to talk about themselves, so be a great listener, says Collie. Robert Stankers. If we're at an exhibition, I ask what their favorite painting was. If I never met them before, I ask what they do professionally and what they enjoy recreationally. Filippini says, I'll ask if they see a particular exhibit or play,
Exhibit.
exhibit or play. The questions don't have to be That's specific. And fine. You can sim, simply,
Simply,
simply say, bring me up to date. Questions can also be utterly,
utterly,
utterly superficial. To begin with, I always ask about someone's shoes or
jewelry.
jewelry, says Foley. Fowler both make statements about a person. I often ask what meaning a piece of jewelry
Uh-huh.
has to wear, and that opens up a lot of other topics.
Good. Okay. So, Benjamin, can you go ahead and summarize what George just read?
It says that when you introduce someone, you should give some extra information,
This one was about drawing the other person out. So how do we
like
draw somebody out?
like um, nah, I don't know.
Okay, that's fine. So basically asking them questions related to what you guys are doing, or you could even ask superficial questions. For example, girls will say, "Oh my gosh, I love your shoes. Where did you get them?" And that starts a huge conversation. So that one never fails. Men, I don't think they do that, but who was I with? I think it was one of you guys that said that you guys ask questions about cell phones. Who was that? Was that one of you guys? Like when you don't know what to talk about, you say, "Oh, cool cell phone. Where'd you get it?" Or
About
I totally thought it was one
soccer,
of you guys. What?
we talk about soccer
Uh-huh.
or girls.
Okay, that I guess that one never fails. What about tattoos? When you see somebody with a tattoo and you're like, "Oh, what do we say?" Say, "Hey, what does your tattoo mean?" Do you guys say that or ask that question? No? Yes?
Who do you ask?
Who do you ask? No, I was asking, when you draw the other person out, for example. Drawing a person out means making them feel comfortable. So you can ask questions about them um, so that they can open up a little bit to you. And one of the examples that I gave was asking about a tattoo. If they have a tattoo saying, "Hey, what does your tattoo mean?" And then I asked if you guys do that. Do you guys ever ask people about their tattoos?
Which car do you buy, or which car would you buy?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you talk about girls and cars and
Yeah,
soccer. I got
soccer.
it. Okay. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and read the next part. Okay, when in doubt, discuss the setting. It sounds like a cop-out, but it works. It's something you share, says Carducci. If you comment on the good music or the interesting floral arrangements or how long a line of food is, and the other person agrees, that means they're willing to talk to you. Another fail-safe setting specific question is, how do you know the host? Okay, good. And I'm gonna keep going. Maybe I'll even finish this. We'll see. We'll see. Revive a dying conversation. Don't panic when there's a lull in the conversation. Benjamin, what does a lull mean?
Um, no point or that awkward silence.
Exactly. A
You're
lull
going
is that
nowhere.
awkward exactly, that awkward silence. Silences aren't as long as you think they are. That's really true. Sometimes a silence feels like it's 20 seconds and really it's just 2. Remember that if you say something, the other person may need to process it. Think of silence as a transition. Roberts adds, sometimes silence is appropriate. You don't want to seem like a babbling idiot. If you sense that the other person is dying to get away, give him the opportunity to do so. Otherwise, take the conversation in a new direction using one of the above tactics. Throw something out there, says Carducci, and don't worry about making the transition smooth. Good, so I'm going to stop sharing for a moment. So we're going to practice this right now. So let's say, George, that you and Benjamin were talking about soccer for 20 minutes. And all of a sudden, there's a lull in the conversation, that awkward silence. So what do you say? You can say anything to ask him any question to change the topic and start a new conversation. So what would you ask him, George? Or what would you say?
Which soccer team do you like?
Okay, wait. You just talked about soccer for 20 minutes, and then there's a lull. So it's that awkward silence. You guys are done talking about soccer. So now you have to transition to a new topic.
Our new topic.
Yeah, so
About what?
anything you get to choose.
Okay. About um, study, science.
Oh, good. Okay, so ask him a question.
Um, do you like science?
Good. Okay, perfect. So you talked for 20 minutes about soccer, then there was a lull in the conversation and awkward silence, and then you say, so, do you like science? Really, really good. It's like the transition is not smooth, but that's fine. That's what small talk is about.
Okay.
Now, Benjamin, now you guys were talking about science for 20 minutes. Now there's an awkward silence in the conversation, and you have to change the subject again. What are you going to ask him?
So, what do you think about the government?
Wow, you guys are intense. Soccer, science,
Yeah.
government.
Very.
And then Stephanie comes in and says, have you tried the food? It's amazing.
Do you like to cook?
Yes. No, I say the music is good. The food is amazing. Stop talking about politics and dance. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's keep going. Good job, you guys. Okay. Make proper introductions. Who feels like reading? Anybody? Or do you want me to read it? Okay, I'll read it. Make proper introductions. The true hallmark of a skilled and gracious small talker is the ability to introduce people with ease. In addition to announcing names, offer a piece of information about each person or a shared interest, thereby facilitating a conversation. I try to be genuine and sincere and convey that each person is important, and I try to say both names slowly, says Roberts, who gives the following example. Kate, this is Jane. Jane and her husband just moved here from Cincinnati. Jane is interested in painting and is an artist herself. Jane, this is Kate. Kate is the museum's director of communications. Things get tricky when you forget one of the names. In that instance, mention one person's name and gesture to the other one, says Post. That person will usually sense you're at a loss and volunteer their name. Crawley cleverly passes the buck. I say the name of the person I do know and then say to her, I'll put you in charge of the introduction. Good. Okay. So, let's practice this. I am going to introduce you guys. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Benjamin, this is George. George likes playing the piano and painting. George, this is Benjamin. Benjamin lives in Bolivia. Okay, so now you guys know a little bit about each other. I'm not just saying, George, this is Benjamin, Benjamin, this is George. Okay, I think that's why we forget names. Seriously, I think that's why we forget names, because you're like, wait, who? And if we take a moment to say something about that person, it helps us remember who it is. So we're going to practice this. Benjamin, I need you to introduce me and George to each other.
Okay. Stephanie, this is George. He likes soccer. And George, she's Stephanie, and she's living in Argentina right now.
Good. Okay, George, now I need you to introduce me and Benjamin.
Okay. Benjamin, this is Stephanie. She's love to cook. Stephanie, this is Benjamin. This this love to talk anything.
Okay, instead of saying this, we say he and she. This is Stephanie, and she loves to cook, and this is Benjamin, and he loves to talk.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, let's move on, and I will read. Okay. Diffuse unpleasant situations. For every group of lovely people you meet at a party, there's bound to be a lemon. Type 1 is the person who has met you on several occasions but acts as if he's never seen you before in his life. I don't like to play games, so I acknowledge that we've met right away, says Crawley. I'll say, you may not recall, but I remember meeting you at a fundraiser 2 years ago. Type 2 invades your personal space. I don't say anything. I just move back, says Philippine. If they get me against a wall, I maneuver around them. Crawley also steps back, and if they follow me, I extend whichever hand is holding my cocktail, so they're at an arm's length away, she says. Type 3 won't stop talking about himself and hasn't asked you a single question. If someone is that self-centered, exit the conversation gracefully, says Carducci, which leads us to make a clean getaway. Okay, before I read the last one, have you guys ever experienced this, what they talk about with type 1, 2, or 3, where you're at an event and there's like somebody who acts as if they've never met you before, but they know you, or the other one who gets in your personal space, or the other one who won't stop talking to you about themselves?
Okay.
Benjamin, have you ever been in a situation like this?
Sometimes, yeah.
Okay, do you remember one specifically?
Mm, at a wedding, yeah.
Okay,
There
tell
was this
us, what
guy,
happened?
and we used to know each other from school,
Uh-huh.
but he didn't remember me, so I said, "When are you in that school?" And he said, he started thinking, and I didn't want to push it, so I
So
said,
he was
"Okay,
kind of ignoring you?
yeah."
Oh, that's a lemon. Okay, what about you, George?
Mm, mm, repeat, please. I
Have
don't.
you ever have you ever been to an event or a big party where you meet a person that's kind of like the people we just read about, maybe somebody who won't stop talking to you about themselves, or somebody who gets in your personal space, or somebody who acts as if they don't know you but they do know you?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
tell us.
Um. mm, I I felt uh, embarrassing, embarrassed,
Embarrassed?
embarrassed because someone asked me about um, uh, personal things,
Oh,
and
they started asking personal
yeah,
questions.
and I knew her.
Oh. And how did you handle that situation?
Yeah,
What did you do? Did you just get away from her?
I tried to be um I don't know how to say that.
Polite? Polite?
Yeah,
Nice?
polite. Yeah, but very polite because the situation was very embarrassed, embarrassing,
Embarrassing. Good.
embarrassing.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Mm, you know.
Okay, well,
Sorry, sorry.
we're ending our class now, but we don't have time for number 10. But I wanted to share my situation because one time I went to take some dance lessons, and there was a room full of people of all ages, and I dance with everybody. Like, I don't discriminate, I don't care. And this kind of old man wanted to dance with me, so I was like, sure. And it was like a dance where you don't have to be touching, just your hands. And he
Oh.
would like pull me into his big belly, and I was like, that's not okay. And so he would really like pull me in, and he had this big belly. And I was like, get your belly off of me. Like I didn't say that, but I would like I would like make my arms strong and like really like push against him. And then when he asked me to dance again, I was like, oh, no, no, thank you. I'm done dancing. So that was how I handled the situation. But anyhow, thank you for joining me for this class. I hope you guys liked it, and I hope to see you guys again.
Okay. Thank
Okay.
you, class.
Wait, did you guys
And
learn anything? Did you learn anything new?
yes, a lot of things.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. Feel free to leave feedback about the class, you guys. If there's any way you think I could make it better or change it, I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Okay, have a good night.
Good night too.
Bye.
Bye bye.